The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
You're back live. Freedom Friday with Carl Gallis. Brandon Big B's in the house. Mallory Bardwell, our world-famous producer. If you want to be a part of the show today and you want to weigh in on what we're talking about, feel free to call 850-623-1330. Our lines are slam-jammed. If, as you hear people hang up, then you just hit redial, put us in speed dial, and call back 850-623-1330. We've got a lot to talk about, and plus we want to take your calls as well. Let's go straight to the phones. Line 3, I think it is, Mallory. We're going to talk to Gary, and Gary's out of New York. Gary wants to talk to us about American Spring. Gary, welcome. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Hey, well, thank you, Carl, and thanks, gentlemen. Thank you, Brandon, for taking my call kind of quickly here. I was really hoping that I was a little bit wary about the turnout for this, and I was really hoping that this Arpaio information would come out prior to this event, and I thought that could really be the thing to kind of push Operation Spring over the top. So unfortunately, it hasn't happened here. I listen every week, obviously, Carl, and I'm not as comfortable with you are in terms of, kind of when this info comes out, it comes out. I mean, if you take a look at what's happening, events are moving so quickly now. Israel is going to act, and I think sooner rather than later. And the faster we can do something on this end to prevent that.
Well, let me address that, Gary. Let me address that. I mean, listen, I hear you, and because you're upset, you're going to go say the same things over and over. I do the same thing, Gary.
Yeah.
But let me no, that's okay.
Sorry.
No,
I'm babbling. I'm babbling on your radio show.
I am not chastising you, man. I'm feeling your pain is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be funny about it. And let me say, Gary, because I do know what's getting ready to happen and what's coming forward, and because I do talk to Mike Zullo almost every day, and when we talk, I mean, it's not 5-minute conversations, it's 30, 45-minute conversations, because I am aware of the profoundness of what is getting ready to be brought forward. I have much more hope and faith than you do, and I understand why, because you're out there in the dark, and I'm blessed enough right now to not be in the dark. But let me just say this. My thing in this, Gary, I've been saying for years, I'm just reporting the facts and the truth as I know them, as I've been told them, as I see them. If I find out I've misspoken or made a mistake, I get it right. This whole conference thing, it's going to happen. I mean, that's what they're saying. And I mean, they're adamant. And I happen to know, how it's going to unfold and who all's involved. So I can say in a 100% scenario, I mean, there's a 99% chance it's going to happen. I'm only leaving 1% for some freaky thing to happen, World War III or something like you said. But it's going to happen. Now, they also wanted it, if you'll remember, they were shooting for the last of March. And I'm telling you, that was, to the last few days of March, Mike Zullo was telling me, Carl, we're still going to try to pull this off. We're still going to try to pull it off. But the thing is, they've got so much, and it's so complex, and I'm not really at liberty to say what has delayed it, but it's good. The things that have delayed it is good. Now, I'm going to say this, Gary. This is an overused phrase, but it just is what it is. I mean, if it wasn't for Sheriff Arpaio and Mike Zullo, we would know nothing. We would have nothing. We would have no hope of any kind of conference or any kind of information. But these guys are our last great hope, and they're investigators in investigation. They know what they've got. I know what they've got. They're excited about bringing it. It's going to be huge, and I do believe it's going to be covered by major, major media. So just have faith. Hang in there. Ultimately, this is all in God's hands, Gary. I mean, ultimately it is.
It is. This doesn't have anything to – I thought perhaps maybe they were trying to get this as close to the November elections as they possibly could, but it sounds like it doesn't have anything to do with that.
Well, I can say this. I can speak for them on this, and I'm not their official spokesperson, but I do know their hearts on this. Neither Mike nor Arpaio, neither one of them truly. Now, I know the haters out there going to just laugh and scoff and mock me for what I'm getting ready to say, but I've talked to these guys, and I've talked to Mike, for years. I know their heart. There's not 1 ounce of political reason in this. Now it depends on how you define politics. Zullo and I can't stand that our constitutional republic is being ripped away from us. So that's political. I mean, we want our constitutional republic back, and I know Arpaio feels the same way. But this is not a hate campaign on Obama. It's not. I mean, as I've told you here before, when it was first accused that Obama may not be from here, I did not believe that. And I actually told people on the air, I said, no, that can't be right. When Zullo was first brought on, his whole job under Arpaio's order was vindicate Obama. In fact, they called him President Obama back then. Vindicate the president. Arpaio says, I want to be the man in America who gets rid of this birther thing. He says, there are other reasons why we, don't like this guy, but this sounds ridiculous. Go after it. But Gary, it's not political. It's way beyond the birth certificate now. So this is huge stuff. Just hang in there. It's going to happen, barring some kind of, uncontrollable, massive phenomena. Barring that, it's going to happen.
Well, your words make me feel better. I feel better than when I first called.
Well, good.
I do appreciate that.
Well, and Gary, let me make this promise. I'm in this for the truth. So let's just pretend like, this is wild, but let's pretend like Zullo and Arpaio just fool us all. They never do it, and I find out it's just a big lie. Guess what I'm going to do on this radio show?
I know what you're going to do.
Yeah, I'm going to tell it. And at that point, I'm going to tell everything I know. So this is not an anti-Obama thing with me either. It's I want our constitutional republic back. And Arpaio and Zullo are doing something. I know what they have. They're getting ready to bring it forward. I'm thankful for them. I'm helping them because they've got the same heart I do. But if I find out in some wild Wizard of Oz land that they're absolutely pulling the wool over our eyes, I will shout it to the rooftops, okay? So you just rest easy.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.